From Columbia, South Carolina, this is SGTV News 4. I'm Ward Jollis.
And I'm Erin Slowey. USC orientation for incoming students has been moved to a virtual format for the summer. More information will be sent to incoming students within the next few weeks. Orientation is one of the many university programs that will be transitioning online, including summer classes and admitted students day. On Monday, Gamecock football head coach Will Muschamp held a teleconference to give an update on the program in light of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We're planning on playing this fall. We plan on playing having 80,000 people at Williams-Brice right now. That's the way I'm looking at it.
According to Muschamp, the league office mandated that the coaches are not allowed to monitor what players are doing physically at home. There are 8 to 10 players who have been cleared to stay on campus due to injuries. These players do not have the facilities to rehabilitate these injuries at home. South Carolina women's basketball freshman Aaliyah Boston won the Lisa Leslie Center of the Year award and earned a position on the Naismith starting 5 on Monday. The Lisa Leslie Award began 3 years ago, and Boston is the second South Carolina player to win the award.
Today was South Carolina's first full day officially under a stay-at-home order. The Home or Work Order, as it's being called by Governor Henry McMaster, restricts South Carolinians from leaving their homes unless they are going to get groceries, other essential supplies, going to work, visiting family members, or recreating outdoors. The executive order came after mounting pressure on the governor to issue more restrictions on South Carolinians to prevent the spread of coronavirus. While many see the mandatory order as a step in the right direction for the state, others, like USC student Maddox Green, claim it still doesn't do enough.
I think he was pressured into doing something that, in the reality of things, doesn't really make a huge difference in terms of flattening the COVID curve.
South Carolina was the last state east of the Mississippi to issue one of these orders. DHEC reported 139 new cases of coronavirus in the state today, bringing the number of confirmed cases to 2,552. The disease claimed the lives of 12 more South Carolinians today, the highest death toll in the state since the beginning of the outbreak.
Senator Bernie Sanders suspended his presidential campaign on Monday. Joe Biden is now the presumptive Democratic nominee to face President Donald Trump in the general election.
Together, we have transformed American consciousness as to what kind of nation we can become, and have taken this country a major step forward in the never-ending struggle for economic justice, social justice, racial justice, and environmental justice.
Democrats are pressing to make changes to voting requirements for the national election in November. Some of these changes include voting by mail and extending early voting. New York reported its highest number of COVID-19 deaths in a single day. The death toll was brought to 6,288. Even though hospitalizations have decreased over the last few days, Governor Andrew Cuomo said the death toll could continue to rise even if hospitalization rates were falling. The acting Navy Secretary resigns after criticizing the captain and crew that had COVID-19 on the aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt. This comes after a letter was leaked to the news organizations describing the lack of resources to combat the virus on the ship. The Navy had more than 170 coronavirus cases since the outbreak started in March. The U.S. Department of Agriculture expands online grocery shopping program for food stamp recipients. Amazon and Walmart are some of the participating retailers.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson will remain in intensive care tonight after persistent symptoms of the coronavirus landed him in a London hospital Sunday evening. A spokesperson for Johnson said he is receiving oxygen, but is considered clinically stable. Johnson has been criticized for not taking the coronavirus threat seriously and continuing to shake hands in the midst of a pandemic. Meanwhile, China has ended its lockdown of Wuhan, the city where the coronavirus originated. After 10 weeks in isolation, Wuhan residents are now permitted to leave the city with the proper government permission. However, within Hubei province, social distancing continues and residents are encouraged to stay home unless they absolutely have to leave. Schools also remain closed. While Wuhan residents are now permitted to leave, health officials say it will still be quite some time before the city returns to any semblance of normal. Health experts are also worrying that developing countries in Southeast Asia and South America, where locals live in very crowded communities, could be harboring undetected outbreaks and could become the new epicenter of the pandemic that has now claimed the lives of over 80,000 people worldwide.
The Dow increased over 770 points, or a little over 3.44% today. The stock surge is following Senator Bernie Sanders dropping out of the presidential race. It's currently 80 degrees outside, partly cloudy with a low of 68 tonight. The high for tomorrow is 86 degrees, partly cloudy with a low of 56. From Columbia, South Carolina, I'm Erin Slowey.
And I'm Ward Jollis. This is SGTV News 4.